With the Xbox Series X release just around the corner, I want to talk about a question that's came up a number of times, and I think to a lot of people the answer is obvious, but if you look a lot closer between the lines, this is something that is a big question that needs to be answered for Xbox, and that one is, guys, is Gear 6 or Halo Infinite, which one is more imperative and more important to the overall success of the Xbox Series X? So let's talk about it. So at the time, guys, of the recording of this video, Halo Infinite has been delayed until 2021, which means that it is going to miss that release of coming out or being a launch title, alongside Xbox Series X, which is an absolute huge blow to the Xbox Series X as far as from a sales perspective. Now, we've talked about this as well, that Xbox is not necessarily, they're competing obviously against PlayStation, but for Xbox, they're more so looking at not necessarily the number of sales they've had with the Xbox Series X, they're looking at the number of subscriptions that they're getting for Xbox Game Pass. They're all in on Game Pass. Obviously, they want to sell the Xbox Series X really well as well. However, they're more in on this from a perspective of trying to give us the most powerful console, as well as giving us an experience where a subscription service that is the best in the industry, and it's not even close. However, Halo Infinite was going to be that launch title that was going to sell a number of consoles out there. It just was, guys. It's Halo. It's one of the most beloved first-person shooters of all time, and people have been wanting a true continuation of this franchise, from the downfall that was Halo 5. And so, look, at the end of the day, I look at Halo Infinite as being a really important title for Xbox Series X. However, Gear 6 is also going to be a huge title for the continued success of Xbox Series X. Look, at the end of the day, the Xbox Game Pass is really what is going to be the driving force here, in my opinion, because it's the Netflix of gaming. They're creating more exclusives than any other, console out there. And what they're trying to do is give you a library of games that you'll be able to play for, a 1 monthly fee. And that's a big deal. Halo Infinite, Gear 6, all included in that. And so Halo Infinite was going to be the real, story here for Xbox Series X that was going to get so many people to buy the Xbox Series X. With that not happening, I do think the Xbox Series X is going to struggle in a significant way to sell a lot of consoles, especially at launch, because there's not very many launch titles right off the bat. When you look at Xbox Game Pass, a lot of those games are obviously going to be available. They're available right now straight on the Xbox One. So why do you need to necessarily get the Xbox Series X right at launch? You don't need to, because there's not that much that's really coming out. Now, if they had other games coming out with Halo Infinite, that being like, the Fable reboot, Gear 6, a number of other titles, then it would really sell well, in my opinion. But now that there aren't that many launch titles here with the Xbox Series X, it's going to struggle until probably Halo Infinite comes out. Now, back to the question here. Which one is going to be more imperative? I think Halo obviously was going to be very important from a launch perspective, but Gear 6 I think is going to be really important for Xbox Series X, for the continued success of the Xbox Series X. So let's just put it in perspective. If Halo Infinite comes out sometime in 2021, Gear 6 is probably going to come out in 2022 or 2023. Obviously, we're going to need some games here that are going to continue the success of the Xbox Series X moving forward after Halo Infinite. And so I just don't think that the Xbox is in a very great position right now, even though Xbox Game Pass is the best subscription service in the industry. With the PS5 coming out as well, there's going to be so much competition here. I think the price point is going to need to be something that Xbox really considers to really sell, a lot of consoles. But the PlayStation, they've got their own exclusives as well. And so when I look at it, I believe that actually when Halo Infinite finally does release, that's what's really going to kickstart the Xbox Series X into getting a lot of those consoles sold. And then, of course, moving into Gear 6, I think it's going to continue it moving forward. Both of these franchises are very imperative for the Xbox Series X and the success of Xbox moving forward. They are the two biggest franchises in all of Xbox's history at this point. Now, look, Fable is obviously one that's very important as well to Xbox, but as far as from an exclusive standpoint, Halo and Gears are definitely at the top. Fable, we'll see what happens with the reboot here. It definitely could join those other two as being, another heavy hitter. I mean, even some of these other games that are coming out, guys, that are exclusive to Xbox could certainly help along the way. The new State of Decay game, and I mean the Perfect Dark reboot. I mean, there's a number of games out there that could really help over time. But when you look at a console, and you look at why am I going to buy this console over that console? Or if you want, and you're like me, you just buy all the consoles because they all have great, exclusives here or there, and they all give you a certain experience. The Xbox Series X, you're buying this because of Halo and Gears, and then, of course, all of the stuff that's on Xbox Game Pass overall. I mean, there's just so much reason to get the Xbox Game Pass. And what I will say is this. Xbox One is, with Xbox Game Pass, is obviously they're building something, I think, pretty special here. It's going to be really important, though, that Halo really does well. And because it's delayed, it's probably going to be a better game. I think we can all agree to that. It's just going to hurt the launch of the Xbox Series X. Gears 6 is obviously not coming out for probably another couple of years. And, some of these other titles, they may, some of them are going to come out next year. But it's hard to say, is that going to be enough reason to buy the Xbox Series X? I think Halo was the most important for the launch, and I think Gears 6 was the most important for the continued success of the Xbox Series X. But all of it is yet to be seen, guys. I think both of these games need to do really well. I think Halo Infinite was actually more important because it was going to be the launch title. But now that it's coming out, in 2021, who knows, guys? It's going to be an interesting one, and I'll definitely keep you guys all up to speed as more information comes out. Let me know, though, which series is more important to Xbox? Is it Halo or is it Gears of War? I would probably say Halo, guys, because it's so beloved for so long. Gears of War didn't come out until the 360, so I think certainly Halo has more nostalgia to it, but Gears of War is definitely, at this point in time, a bigger franchise, in my opinion. Halo Infinite, though, we'll see if that really puts Halo back in the forefront and in the driver's seat. But let me know, like I said, guys, in the comment section down below what you guys think, and let's have a real conversation about it.